All right, let's see if this works. Hello, chat, and hello, everybody out there. I tried to live stream a few minutes ago and tech wasn't working. Apologies for my voice. I know it's a little bit scratchy tonight. I have pinned my free attachment assessment at the top of this chat for everybody who wants to pop in and learn about their attachment style. I'm not sure what's happening tonight, so hopefully the technical difficulties work out. Get some bone broth. Already on it. Already on it. Kelly, good to see you. JGJ, good to see you as well. Crystal, welcome. Okay, this one's working. Archeon, we couldn't see her here. I was there the whole time. That is wild. Okay, well, shoot. I wonder if that one's ever going to get out. I was wondering why nobody in chat was talking, but that's totally fine. Glad you guys are here. Emergency. I hear you. I hear you. You know, the problem is that I'm a parent and I live in a constant petri dish of delightful children. And I'm just going to be sick off and on. That is just how life goes when you have a bunch of little kids. Wouldn't trade it for the world. So, there we go. I think it makes me sound a little more gruff, a little more masculine. Anyway, what do they call it? The whiskey voice. This is my Batman voice. Attachment brought to you by Batman tonight. Um, just got over the flu. There you go. There you go. Well, I'm glad everybody's in here. Archeon, thank you, especially over in the other one. You were telling me you guys couldn't hear me. That when you popped in and said that, that was very helpful. So thank you, Archeon. I appreciate you. Um, Be prep. This is good prevention for sore throat. My throat's not even sore. Strangely, it doesn't even hurt. It's just that I just can't talk. So, who knows? We'll make the best of it while we can. I'm glad to see you guys in here tonight. Wonderful to see you. If the other 10 minutes, I think on the other one, as I was talking about attachment styles, if that ever goes up, you can watch the other live stream of me talking silently to an empty chat. That is also available. But in here, I want to make this clear. The I pinned to the top of the chat my free attachment styles assessment. I want everybody to be able to take that. It is free. It is 100% free. At the end of it, it does verify your a couple of details of information about you to make sure it's getting right to you. And then you log in, you get your results right there. Again, free. If for any reason you don't get your results, it might be a glitch or something like that. Let me or my team know, and we can make sure you get results because sometimes an email gets weird or a filter goes strange. So let us know. We'll make sure you get your results, you guys. Um, my attachment styles to the fridge because I'm fat. Well, I hear you, Archeon. Attachment issues and various health or behavioral or even addiction issues can often go hand in hand because there's coping mechanisms, right? When you have massive high levels of stress, your coping skills kick in, and sometimes they're not the best. I took it; it was almost secure. Amazing, Gene. Your avoidant YouTube has helped me so much to how to work with my boyfriend. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Let me ask you: is he working with you? A lot of times I get people that you are working with him, but is he working with you? I would love to hear that one. I hope that he also is. Your attachment style. And why did I pick now to launch an attachment quiz when I've refused for 3 years? You guys might know, and you guys, some of you have been here for a while. You know, I was on almost like a crusade against attachment quizzes for a long time. Why? I don't like the idea of, hey, come take our quiz, answer 5 questions, get your attachment style. Now it's your style for life. And then you have to wrap your personality around it and then never ever change. Now it's hopeless. And now you have a stigma on you for the rest of your life. I hate that. I hate the inaccuracy of those quizzes. I hate how flippant they are. I hate that they just give you an astrology sign that you live with forever and then you have to just take on. I hate those, which is why I've refused to do an attachment quiz for a long, long time. Now I've got the attachment assessment based on all my years in the field of psychology, my license as a marriage and family therapist in psychology, all my years in the field based on some of the members of my team came in as well, and they started putting in questions so that we could really make this thing authentic and backed by science and hormones and everything that we've discussed with all the experts through the years. So it's a lengthy assessment. I'll warn you, it should be. And it doesn't just give you, okay, here's your style, go on, go away. Here is your style. Here's the severity rating of that style. Here is some opening steps for you to start becoming more secure. If you need help, here's some helpful resources, or here's some things you can go do right now. That was what I needed it to be before I was willing to release it to you guys. So keep in mind when you take it, it's a lengthy assessment and gives you a fairly accurate readout that way. And then it opens up the questions. How do we access your assessment? I'd be interested. I do have it pinned in the top of chat. I have it right here that I'm posting again. Thank you for asking. It's also on my website, adamlanesmith.com. At the top, under the resources tab, it's the first one that says free attachment assessment. It is free. If for any reason there's a glitch that holds up your results, for any reason, don't be alarmed. Your results should still be there. Notify me or my team, and we'll go in and unclog whatever pipe is clogged. Usually, it's like an email filter, maybe that didn't go through or something like that. But we can make sure that you get it. So there you go. Just transition to full time. My current job. Hoping an increase in pay can help me transition to get a relationship. Interesting. Interesting. Almost 30. Never had a legit date. I'm curious about that. Never dated because I didn't see anyone express implicit interest in a romantic manner. I want someone who loves me for who I am, not because of my bank account or the ability to give a green card. Well, it's fascinating that you're saying transitioning to a full time job is going to help you start dating. But you don't want to be hit for your bank account. I agree. A green card and bank account should not be the reason someone's interested in you 100%. Um, However, why is that the first thing your mind jumps to? Is that mostly who you've spent time around? No judgment on you. I don't mean that at all. I mean, um, where are the people in your life who are not attracted by that? Where are the higher quality people? Where is your social network? Where are the people you connect to? Where's your community? Where are the people matchmaking for you? Where are the people who talk up your value to the people they know? Where are the people who get you the dates locally? What communities are you a part of? What groups? What organizations? What religions? What philosophical groups? Discussion groups? Any of that? Where is that? That should be helping you. And that should also be weeding out the people who would come after you and try to manipulate you. You need those filters and those communities. It's what most of my clients come in needing. My attachment style doesn't fit any one type because my coping and defensive mechanisms in adulthood override everything. Curious. Remember that attachment issues are a trauma response to human relationships, and yes, they can be cultivated in good and bad directions in adulthood. I shouldn't even say good and bad, but conducive to health and relationships and not conducive to health and relationships. My DA boyfriend says definitely want to stay connected. Then I haven't heard from him since last Friday. Have you talked to him about building a schedule? Okay, you want to stay connected. The best way to do that is to schedule things in. When can we schedule some meetups and some conversations? Especially if you guys are actually dating. He's a boyfriend. Schedule the times. How many times a week? What days? What times? Get on that. Have that conversation. See if he's willing. Yeah, I got highly disorganized, probably quiet version. I hear you, Harry. I hear you. Yeah, I didn't want to distinguish the subtypes on that because I was afraid that at least the beginning version that would skew the results too hard. I wanted it to be a purer experience for people, and then you can distinguish the subtypes more for yourself. Is kind of what I wanted. So I'm glad that you're distinguishing it yourself. That's excellent. Culture, South Indian, generally arranged marriages practice. I gotcha. My folks seem miserable even though they reached nearly 35 years. Dad always was bad with friends and overpowering. How are you doing with building a community? How are you doing with opening up with friends? How are you doing with building intimate, non sexual relationships? How are you doing with building a thriving community around you of people you can talk with, of people you can trust and open up with, men and women? Maybe friends with couples, people like that. How are you doing with building those relationships? Arcan, I fell in love fast. I'm always scared of losing that person. That's that having that oxytocin hyperfixation on one human being. You're supposed to be scared of losing that person. That's not a bug. That's a feature. That's a feature of your adaptation. It's normal, Arcan. The problem is that you're not diversified in your oxytocin portfolio. You're putting all your eggs in one basket, so you have to hyperfixate on that one basket. When you diversify your stock portfolio, you can sleep at night because you don't have to worry what that one stock is doing. Normal behavior. Just diversify. Oxytocin bond with more people. Fearful, avoidant dating, and avoidant. Learning about attachment styles for a while. I love your different take on it. Appreciate being proactive about it. 100% cat. 100%. I'm glad you're learning. Is your partner learning with you? Are you guys able to have those conversations? Are you able to discuss at all? Even if it's not your attachment style and my attachment style, if it's more like, hey, what's comfortable for you? What's useful to you? What's balanced and what's fair to you? Simpler words like that sometimes are more effective. Are you guys able to have those conversations? I'm pretty sure I'm anxiously attached. I hear that. I hear that. But what are you doing? What are you doing about that? What are you doing about that with friendships? Friendships are going to drive so much for you, Archeon, in your life. HSP, good to see you. Everyone's too busy. When they're available, I suddenly have to work a bunch. Happens a lot. Schedule. Most people schedule the bad and forget to schedule the good, so the good never happens. Scheduling time on Saturday mornings, on Sunday afternoons, on Thursday nights, scheduling time to touch base, and then having an ongoing schedule so that when one of you is free and the other's busy, the schedule still happens. Absolutely crucial. JFNA, I can't even say her name, but J. I'm afraid to express myself often, still have not pursued a partner out of fear of rejection. I've loved your material so far in your discussion of vasopressin. I believe I'm avoidant. Got it. Um, Afraid, fear of rejection. Fear of rejection usually comes down to not knowing what the healthiest people are going to want from you and not knowing how to differentiate the trustworthy people from the untrustworthy people. Who is trustworthy and what do they want from me? And what can I expect in return? It's usually the information that frees you from that fear. Understanding the rules of the game allows you to play the game. And I don't mean game like play to win. I mean like an enjoyable, friendly game of tennis that you actually enjoy together. That's what you need, the rules. Let me know if you need help with that. I do have programs and group coaching and everything available, so I can help. JG, I never got to hang out with anyone after school as the firstborn of two. Sister critiqued me considering someone who appeared privileged as a prom date during senior year. I just dropped out of a friend group who was the same culture generally because they won't cut my sister out. Wanted to be loyal to family, but ended up biting me. I got you. I hear you. I hear you. It sounds like what you need to do, honestly, more than look for a partner, is look for a community. When we go grocery shopping while we're starving, where do we go? You don't go to the outside room where the healthy food is. We go up and down the aisles where the junk is. We walk in the impulse buys at the bakery right there by the front door. You load up on carbs and sugars and you make foolish choices. Same thing happens when you go dating, starving for oxytocin. You get the junk food partners. You grab whoever is flashiest and in your face first, and you cling on for dear life because it's all you have. And then you feel like garbage after a while because garbage in, garbage out. You need to be building those oxytocin bonding so that you get healthy in your relationships. Build your community and your friendships so that you're not starving when you go looking for a partner, especially if you're looking to be careful like you are. Braden, good to see you. I took your advice, told my wife I'd noticed a shift in her. She said, I got tired of sleeping on the couch. Okay. I just said, okay. And then I believed it was something different. Well, I got tired of sleeping on the couch. That's fine. Maybe she's deflecting. Maybe she's changing. Maybe she's telling herself that. Even that's a change. Okay. You got tired of sleeping on the couch. How can we make sure you never have to sleep on the couch again? What can we do to make you comfortable? Not only do you never sleep on the couch again, but you feel very, very comfortable sleeping here. What can we do to help you get there? This is a great opportunity for a good conversation, Braden. Very good opportunity. Can you ask those questions? Yes, having the conversations in your videos are that extra step. Encourage me to share more of what I'm learning helps immensely. I love that. That's fantastic. You're doing great. Keep having conversations. I was just teaching in my attachment repair group coaching just this evening, and I told the women in there one thing that women often do, trying to be kind and trying not to be a burden, is they use implicit language, and they ask questions that are supposed to mean something else, and they hope that the other person will hear the hidden meaning behind their words, and the other person, the avoidant person particularly, almost never will. The avoidant person will read something usually negative into it, or it's ambivalent, so they read something frightening into it, and or intimidating or overwhelming, and then they pull back. The ambiguity is your enemy. Explicit language is a very strong, assertive, feminine language. of adding context and then asking a question, sharing your internal context and asking a question. Explicit language, not implicit. Explicit language is the only thing that resolves the fears and the unknowns for an avoidant person. Implicit language adds to their fear, adds to their unknown, adds to their overwhelm. Explicit, clear, direct language, especially around expectations, needs, and desires. Very crucial. Starving and dating junk food. You got it, Lisa. You got it, and you know it. I know you do. That's the laugh of a person who knows. I gotcha. As an FA dating a DA, how do you rebuild trust after a discard, especially around fear of abandonment? Number one, regulate yourself. And I don't mean that for their sake, I mean for you. Get to a place where you have regulated and resolved a lot of your a lot of your disorganized style, a lot of your fearful avoidant. Get to a place where you have regulated and healed a lot of that with friends and family. You've got to get solid away from them. And I don't mean leave them. I mean, your life shouldn't revolve around them. Do that for yourself and it will benefit them as well, but you'll primarily benefit from it. And then as you do that, you will have the foundation to begin expecting a bit more from them and sharing more with them and requiring more from them. And as they rise and meet you in those things, that's where trust can be rebuilt. Trust is rebuilt as expectations are shared and met, and as you care for each other during conflict, and where you are not petrified that losing them will make you lose everything. Learn that. The biggest thing a fearful avoidant slash disorganized must do is self-regulate. And again, not for the other person necessarily, but for you. If you need help with that, remember that I've got the attachment bootcamp course to show you how to do that. You could take that alone or with them and drive a great conversations on my website, adamlanesmith.com. Now she's moved out to med school, a significant other who's in the military. I'm trying to look for friends. I do attend many tech events for professional growth. A lot of my clients are in tech, and an overwhelming number of them struggle with making friends. So you might probably are going there, considering creation of a Linux user group as a common interest. A group event hangout ever be successful? If I was the creator of the group. Yeah, it's just, tech is known for people who struggle in their friendships like that. So you may want to go outside of tech even and join a discussion group, a hiking group, larger groups that are built around that and make friendships there. That might be a lot more successful. Or you're going to have to be more extroverted and more specific as you lean into building those relationships. Cat OMG, yes, ambiguity was a habit I needed to break. Implicit language when emotionally regulated is the sweet spot. Ah, I hear you. I hear you. When emotionally regulated and when you're both emotionally regulated, then implicit language can be used. It almost becomes an in language for the two of you then. But an implicit in language needs to be built over time through shared definitions. And only explicit language at the beginning can set up those shared definitions so that implicit language can be used later. Right now, you probably don't have very many shared definitions that you can rely upon. Jackie, there you go. I'm as shy, as abused. Worked through most everything, still dealing with ADHD. Not to go and took your test, as I'm mostly secure. Took a while to get there. Love it, Jackie. That is amazing. You have earned that. You have worked so hard. I'm so happy to hear that that's doing well for you, and you are doing great. If you need any help or anything like that, let me know. I grew up sleeping on the couch or in another room. I don't approve of it. I believe you work through things and support each other. It's the only way to grow up and learn to trust. You've got it, Jackie. You've got it. Sounds like you've learned some very good lessons. I love that. Love that. When hard when the avoidant fears closeness, it takes you for granted because there's distraction in front of them, and you let them know there's a double standard. Do things you don't want your partner to do. 100%. The answer is not to be with an avoidant person forever. The answer is to find somebody who's willing to work with you, to build a secure relationship together, to begin. If you're not yet secure, either one of you, building secure attachment inside yourselves is a joint effort, and then craft a secure relationship for both of you so nobody's walking on eggshells. That's ultimately the goal here, you guys, not to sit in it and just stay there forever. Which of your courses do you recommend people start with? It kind of depends. Some people want to learn how specifically. uh, I'll say it this way. A lot of women come in and they say, I think I'm good. I think it's him. And then you talk to them and they have like this finely crafted 18-page story about his childhood from details she has gathered through internet research and interviews with him and family members. and it's all him. And for these ladies, I have the how to love an avoidant man video course because that's what they want to do is love their man. Um, Now, for people who are saying, I want to fix myself, I need to fix me, I have the attachment boot camp, which is the 10 clear steps to go from insecure to fully secure. It is largely built around anxious attachment, especially the explanations of it, because that was the primary audience when I built it, but it is still helpful for avoidant people. The steps inside of it are helpful for crafting your identity, your sense of self, for building healthy boundaries and great social networks and connections, and then a good, solid romantic relationship. So the attachment boot camp is good for starting that. And couples can take either course as well. Couples and individuals can take either one. How to work with a fearful avoidant that has suffered extreme PTSD and grooming. Oh man, I would love to understand more. Your content's awesome. Um, well, Jack, I'd have to ask, are they willing to do the work? Are they eager to do the work? Are they wanting to learn? Are they running away from information? Are they running away from solving it? I mean, you can't hold them down and waterboard them with love, so to speak. A lot of people ask if you can, um, if they're wanting to, if they're wanting to learn that you can. Are you okay? Yeah, thank you. My I have kids. I have 5 kids. So I am quite often cultivating the next plague, it seems. Doing okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's just my Batman voice. I'm practicing my Batman voice today via my children. I count definitely is working on purpose or pacifying the signs. See, that's the thing. Honestly, having a clear conversation that's opportunity focused. I have an idea that'll be able to that'll help us build an amazing relationship. I think there's a great opportunity in front of us. There's this thing called attachment that we could be working on. It's how you can connect to each other in a fair, balanced, sustainable, and trusting way, where we can show that we are worthy of trust and we can build a great relationship that we can actually move forward in and be at peace. Is this something you'd like to learn with me? If so, I've got some videos we can watch. We can have some great conversations. No pressure, no stress. It's just us learning a little bit more about each other and feeling more at peace. Do you want to give this a shot with me? Having that conversation and see if they're willing to buy in. That's very important. The Sunset CEO. Love to hear from you. Enjoy your information. Dating and avoidant, and I'm anxious attachment therapy does definitely help. I love that. That is fantastic. Is your avoidant partner working with you? And are they learning? Are they engaging in the conversations you have with them? Are they leaning in? Avoiding people who listen, they're stressed. They turn sideways like this and they watch you through their peripherals and their nostrils kind of flare, but they listen. Are they at least doing that? If they're shutting down the conversation or dive rolling out the window to escape and hot wiring a car, then that's not a great thing. But if they're leaning into the conversations, at least that is a good sign. I hope that they are. The Avoidant Man course helped me tremendously. Unfortunately, I learned my avoidant was more manipulative. After 4.5 years, I ended the relationship. I'm so sorry, Amy. I'm glad that you got the information you needed to learn that they were manipulative. I'm glad that you got out of a bad situation. I'm glad that you're feeling better and hopefully feeling safer. I'm glad that you have that information as well. So, very well done. Very well done. And if I can help you at all, please let me know. He's done therapy. I've not. I leaped into YouTube. Very common, and that's totally fine. I have a ton of videos here on this channel. If he's done therapy, you might want to watch some of those videos with him, then pause afterward. And then here's what I recommend: is what's one ask each other these questions. What's one thing that stood out from you to you from that video, and what's one thing you'd love to implement or change from that video, implement in our life or change in our relationship? What is one thing that stood out, and why is helpful? And what's one thing you'd like to change and why? These can be really helpful conversations. Good evening, Faithful Jones. Good to see you. Welcome in here. Good evening. Do men and women express attachment styles differently? They're very, very similar. The distinctions, yes, there are often distinctions, but they're usually so negligible that giving information for one is almost just as good as giving information for the other. There's a couple minor tweaks here and there that might change, There's a couple that are bounded by social expectations and things like that. There's things like obviously avoidant women and breastfeeding. It's its own topic. Avoidant men don't usually have to worry about breastfeeding, but avoidant women and breastfeeding is a whole different story. So there's different aspects there. I wouldn't say that they express those attachment styles differently, but there may be experiences that will be a little bit unique to each one at times. But again, generally, the larger amount of information is going to be good for what's good for what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And in this context, I'm not using that one right, but there you go. Thank you. Your videos are amazing and filled with true info. I'm very glad. I'm very glad, and you're very welcome. Um, are there any other groups you would recommend? I'm not an outdoors guy. Never played sports. Um, Never played sports. I know pickleball is overwhelmingly popular for the non-athletic crowd. Discussion groups, though. You honestly Google the name of your town and then meetups, and most likely your town's Facebook group or the meetup groups, the meetup website. There's so many ways to find groups in your local area. 65% of people, millennials and under, are reporting daily feelings of loneliness. So you're certainly not alone. I mean, you are alone, but you're not alone, right? Um, you are in good company with the vast majority of people craving friendship. So look for those people and then form those connections. And don't be afraid to speak up at those groups and form those friendships because you probably are going to find people that will resonate very well with you. Jackie, how can you tell if they're sincere and not manipulating the situation because we were told we need to? I want him to do things because he wants to, not because he's told to. I hear that a lot. What you're wanting is for him to have oxytocin so that he feels affection, as feels compelled to give you love. That's what you're trying. And a lot of women in the dating process, they're saying, "I don't want you to do it unless you want to do it." And you're trying to measure his oxytocin levels. You don't have a saliva test and a laboratory available. So you're trying to measure it through spontaneous displays of affection. And that's not going to be a useful metric for an avoidant partner. An avoidant partner won't be feeling much of that at the beginning. And if they even do feel it, it confuses them. So they don't know what to do about it. So understand that at the beginning, an avoidant partner doing things for you because you're asking is that measurement of love for them. Now, do they continue to do them? Do they do them faithfully and consistently? Do they prioritize you? Do they then start opening up a bit and sharing with you? Do they then maybe share their needs in return? Are you consistently caring for each other in return? Look for this as an opening metric instead on the health of the relationship and their desire for you. Do that instead, and you'll begin feeling that connection a lot more. And over time, you can start fostering that oxytocin where then you'll see them displaying spontaneous displays of affection. But honestly, that's one of the worst things you can possibly do. Uh, um, is measure an avoidant person at the beginning based on are they doing it because they want to or doing it because I told them to. If an avoidant person is doing it because you told them to, that usually means that they like you and that they care enough to do it. But I understand why you're using the metric. Yes, and to not fear intimacy with me and want the distraction of lust or love. Yes, those are all signs of oxytocin that you should be looking for. But don't negate the opening actions just because it's being asked for. That's one of the worst things that you can do. And I don't mean that judgmentally. I mean a lot of women do that, and it's a bit like planting your bulbs in your garden and then digging them all up because they haven't grown overnight, right? I don't see flowers in the morning, so these must be dead bulbs. Sometimes it takes a little while to push up through the soil, if that makes sense. So there you guys go. My avoidant came back to me once again after I've broken up. It's always been me breaking up with him. How do I say to him and how do I communicate with him? I've used the what, why. If they're coming back, it's because they're trying to creep back in and get dopamine bonding with you. You need to talk about this in terms of capacity. I am sorry. I no longer have the capacity to invest in a relationship with you. I have long term goals I need to meet, and have principles I need to abide by. If you cannot fulfill those long term goals with exact, clear steps now, And if you cannot help me abide by those principles, then I do not have capacity to give anything to you. And I don't mean this from a place of anger. I mean this as simply I do not have capacity. So if you're unwilling to meet those things, that's fine. Please find somebody else that is headed in your direction, and I will find someone who is going to build these goals with me. And understand that some people are very, very happy to waste your time over and over and over. Understand that they probably have other women that they're cycling around as well. They're like a butterfly or a bee going from flower to flower to flower to flower. And they're coming back to see if they can get more dopamine from you. That's what you are to them. You are a dopamine flower. Do you want to be a dopamine flower who sits there for the next 20 years being harvested occasionally? Or do you want to talk about capacity, put up a little wall, and then find someone who will help you work on your goals together? You're going to have to police yourself. The feminine is an abundant well of water, and you choose who you give your water to. If you don't build a fence around your well, jerks will show up with a water truck and siphon all the water out of your well and then go sell it across town. They will. Your job as a feminine woman is to guard your well and give water in the portions that are appropriate for what you want to be building and fostering and nurturing. That is how feminine energy works. You choose who you give your water to. You have a fence, you have a gate, you allow people in, you allow portions of water. You choose who you invest with, or they will keep coming and keep siphoning water out as soon as your well refreshes. And they will drag their water truck in, suction it all up, laugh at how they got it for free, and then go find another well to drink from next as you replenish. And they just run circuits. Be aware of that. Some people will do that. Just finished your quiz, very clearly worded. Looking forward to my results. Love it, Kat. Thank you. You should, if you put your information in, you should get the email. The email will come very quickly. You should click on that. If you don't, for any reason, please email me and my team. I want to make sure you get your results. Very once in a while, there's a little glitch or something like that holds up the results, but you should get them very, very quickly. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go rest my throat. I've got podcasting and meetings and coaching tomorrow. So I'm going to rest my throat overnight and be ready for that as well. So thank you to everybody for sticking it out tonight through my Batman voice. Thank you for everybody with your great questions. I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. US Central Time. Saturday, 3 p.m. US Central Time. I believe it's scheduled. I will see you then. Come and join me. You take care and good night.